Hello champions and future champions, hello Chessmood family. Grandmaster is here with you and we're beginning our daily lesson. In this position, for white is playing ex-world champion, very strong player Tigran Petrosian, and it's white to move. Before going further into explanations, I will offer you to pause the video and try to find best continuation for white here. In this situation, when opponent's king is still in the center and white has some space advantage because of e5 pawn, white is taking interesting decision, playing knight d5. And after e d5 and c takes d5, we are getting very strong pawn chain in the center. In this daily lesson, as well in some of the following ones, we're going to see examples where we're sacrificing a piece but getting very strong pawn chains instead of it. In this concrete position, white has now very nice center, and these pawns are not going to be limited by the 5th rank. We're going to advance them. We have a threat of playing d6 move. For example, if black is trying to give back a piece and destroy our center with bishop d5 move, it's a bad decision. We take back. What has happened? Now we're having an extra pawn in the center, meanwhile black has it at the flank. When there are queens on the board and as well we're going to attack through the long diagonal, this favors to white. That's why, when taking the piece, black needs to keep it on the board in order to have a playable position. After c takes d5, I'm going to ask you, can black play now short castle or it's not possible? You can pause the video and think about this. If after a d6 move, you thought that black is escaping with queen c6, since now we are not able to take on e7 because checkmate through g2 is hanging. We are having an intermediate tempo, playing bishop f3 move firstly, and only then capturing the bishop. That's why, after pawn takes d5 in this position, black firstly goes for queen c8 move. And here white is having all chances to use pawn majority and strong pawn center for advancement. You can pause the video and think how white can continue in this position. Using the fact that rook on h8 is not protected, white here goes for e6 move. Black cannot take, the rook is hanging. Playing f6 now is not really working out, the least we are having is d6 move. We are going to take back one of the pieces and opponent king is staying in the center as well. It's gonna be disastrous for black, and that's why after e6, black is trying at least to take king to the safety, going for a castle move. Now we have a choice. We can be playing d6, most probably taking back the piece, or playing differently as well. Another time, I'm going to ask you, pause the video and think what's going to be the best continuation for white here. Before going for d6 move, it's always good to weaken opponent's king a little more. White now goes queen c3. Since we're having checkmate threats, black is now forced to play f6. And only now we are going for d6 move. Now black has several replies, but none of them is working well. If bishop d8, we are playing e7, attacking bishop and the rook, winning back the piece, and because of good bishop pair, pressure through the long diagonal, white has a winning position. After d6, black cannot be taking the pawn on e6 as well, because now queen and the king are standing on the same diagonal. We're having bishop c4 move and winning the game again. After d6, it was played knight a4, black is trying at least to exchange the queens. And we again need to decide how to continue here for white. You can pause the video and think about it. Usually we know that when we're attacking, most of the times we need to keep queens on the board. But this time, white pawns are so strong that we're even good to exchange some of the pieces. Queen c8 here. Black needs to take with the rook on the f file, because if taking with the a rook, after d takes e7, another one is hanging with a tempo. That's why queen c8, rook f takes c8. Now, if we are taking the bishop on e7, black can capture on b2. Suddenly we are not having that many threats, and even though we have nice pawns on the e-file, at this moment they are blocked with the black rooks. But instead of taking the bishop, we can play bishop to a1. Again, I am repeating myself, our pawns are super strong, and we even have a time for some slow actions. If now black goes bishop to f8, we can capture f6 pawn, threatening to play d7, e7, and promote a couple of queens. That's why, after bishop a1, black is also playing smart and is trying to go for active defense, going for rook c2 move. Now, there are going to be some threats for the black side as well, and we need to make a decision. How to play for white here is my next question. You can pause the video and try to find it. We're already taking the bishop on e7, and what's the difference? That rook is no longer on c8. We will be able to create some threats through the 8 file. Rook e2, rook d8 check. Of course, black cannot be taking because we're going to promote a queen. Only move is king g7. And next question to you. Is white able to promote a queen on e8 square at this position? You can pause the video and try to find the answer. Suddenly, this promotion is even losing for white. Black is playing rook g2 check, and after king h1, mating with rook g3. Now, rook is controlling this diagonal, and bishop is mating through this one. We are not having any options to defend. That's the reason that after king g7 here, we are firstly removing our rook from f1 square. And when we go rook c1, rook g2 is already not dangerous. We can just go king to f1, promoting a queen on the next move. After rook c1 in the game, it has happened rook e6, and finally white is playing rook c7. This move is threatening to promote the queen with a tempo. Otherwise, after king h6, we can take the bishop on b7. All of black threats were related to the power of this bishop. It's already gone, and white is going to promote a queen on the next move. Black here can try to play rook e7, winning our passed pawn, but there is another issue. After rook e7, rook d8 and bishop takes f6. Suddenly, black king is in a huge trouble. With bishop g5 threats, as well pawn g4, white is going to create different mating threats. This position is absolutely winning. Black is not having any good defensive ideas. Their pieces are far not coordinated, and for this reason, white is winning. Let's now go ahead and take a look quickly at another example. This time, it's black to move, and there is very typical idea for these King's Indian pawn structures happening sometimes in the games. You can pause the video and try to find best continuation here for black. Now, black is sacrificing knight on e4 square. Bishop takes e4 and playing f5. This bishop has to go back, bishop c2, playing e4 with a tempo, and the final position we are going to see is happening after knight d4 and knight takes d5. We sacrifice the piece and gaining space advantage and strong pawns in the center. In this concrete position, black bishops are playing really good through the long diagonals. Especially the dark one is making a pressure here. This c3 pawn is very weakened. As well, black bishop on b7 is protecting the knight. And this means we're ready for c5 moves. We don't need to worry about the safety of our knight here. Very often we're going to win this pawn, and in a few moves we're going to push all of our central pawns. After knight d2, knight c3, and bishop c3, black is ready to move ahead. Rook b1 c5, after bishop b2, we can take and play d5. Take a look at these beautiful pawns. Black is having many advancement options. We can be pushing d4, try to go c4 and d3. We can try to play on the queen side with f4. The super big value of our central pawns are that they are limiting opponent's pieces a lot. Even though now we're missing a piece, our pawns are much stronger. To summarize today's daily lesson, we can say connected central pawns are very strong, and often they are compensating a lack of a piece. Now, let's go ahead to the next position, which will be our homework. This time, it's white to move, and we need to decide how to continue here. You can share your thoughts and ideas in the comments section below. GM Gabuzyan was here with you. Thank you for your subscriptions, likes, and sharing this video with your friends. We appreciate it a lot. See you next time during our next daily lessons.